DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it is Sunday afternoon. Well, it's not a coffee vlog. That's a wheat beer, actually. Not my favorite, but it was one that I had. So, yeah, you gotta drink it. Yeah, so it was kind of quiet this morning, but I didn't have time to make a vlog. What do you mean quiet this morning? I didn't have time to make a vlog. Well, actually, I got up and relatively took my time. I did my usual readings in the morning and Vlogger's Itch, and I listened to a radio show which I listen to every Sunday morning, and then I went actually to church at 9 o'clock. It's been the first time that I've actually been to a church service live since before the pandemic. And yeah, there's pretty much the same people that were there that have started to come back. I feel though that probably wasn't into it as I was hoping. For the last 2 years I've been basically going online and at Headington Baptist churches in Headington. It's in Oxford. It's a little town it's connected to Oxford, so basically nobody really knows you barely know when Oxford stops and Headington starts. I mean, there's one place, but it's the towns are connected. Yeah, and I came back and I listened to the service there, which they actually stream online continuously now because they realized that it was something that I guess the people over there appreciated, especially those that weren't able to make it. So they got a YouTube channel and they do it that way. Yeah, but I wasn't actually going to talk about that. Let me see. Was there a tag or was there something not too long ago? I think it was something actually that I read or heard on a podcast about, where's home? And I was thinking, that's a tricky question. That's a tricky question. Where is home? Mrs. DC is off with first son of DC and their family and my son's mother-in-law. And they're off to Spain, so they're visiting the Spanish family there. So basically, my son is with his my son's family have brought the mother-in-laws. And for them, for Steffi's, her real name is Estefania. It's a beautiful name, actually. For her mom, she's gone home because they're a family that have emigrated like us, and I chatted about that before. And I just think, when is it that you don't go home when you go home? I guess that's probably the thing. On Facebook, I've said this before, but I have two Facebook channels. One is basically everybody that was ex-YouTube. Yeah, I just feel bad to say that, but it's about it. Ex-YouTube that are now, essentially only on Facebook. And the other one was a Facebook channel, which I probably had even before I made what I was going to call the YouTube Facebook one, and had stopped using it for many years. But it was mostly with people that were family members, just basically connected in that way. So on that other channel, I've got, the Irish. That's the only work related, and it's the people that are there. It's very specific. They're the ones I call friends over there, and family. So close members of the family. So cousins and basically cousins. And yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so that was it. And on that channel, on that Facebook account, I'm a member of the Eastern Townships, um, Eastern Townships group. That's where I used to come from. And I'm a member. Well, my nephew asked me to be a member of the Richelieu Valley or something. It's called something else. So near the Richelieu River. So they live in Saint Jean sur Richelieu, that region. So there's a group there, and I was realizing, like, I never connected with that part of Quebec. We moved there when I was a teenager. My dad changed jobs. Again, if you go over my vlogs over years and years and years, I have talked about that. But it wasn't home. It wasn't the hometown. I've realized, like, for my sister, who's had her family there, and her kids, of course it's their hometown. But for me, my hometown, my home region, is around southern Quebec on the American border, where we basically, I was going to say, we're part of a really big region. There was no September 11 screwed things up, but there was, you felt like you're one big country, even though you were, how can I put it? I felt probably closer to the people that lived in Vermont and that region than I would have to somebody living in Ontario already, because we shared the same landscape, we shared the same lakes, we shared, so much of the same things. And it was even more in my mom's time. In my mom's time, people used to go shopping there, and people, the Americans came drinking on our side, and we'd go shopping on their side, and so on and so on, and people married and so on. So where's home? I've noticed that when I go back, I always have to go back to my hometown. Even if it's just walking around. I know it's changed. It has. But I have to go. I go see my grandparents. Now I'll go see my dad. But you know what? My dad is in a cemetery, which is not one which I connect with again. It's not like the family cemetery, if I could almost put it that way, where my grandparents are, and which I visited all my life. Where's home? People used to say home is where the heart is. You probably remember hearing that. There's a little bit of that, isn't there? And then somebody might ask me, well, isn't home now where you live? And it is. Of course it is. It is, because that's also where our kids are. It's where we've decided, to make our homestead. Yeah, where's home? I was chatting with Mrs. Easty about that the other day, because a lot of people here in Switzerland are either, first or second generation immigrants. And there's a lot from Portugal. And the Portuguese all go back home because the cost of living, and they've bought homes and stuff like that. And they get ready for that, actually, all their life, all their working life. They get ready for when they'll be retired, that they'll be going back home. And they keep, looking at me and saying, well, why aren't you going back? Well, I say, first off, there's the kids. It's different. When we left Canada, our parents still had kids and family. If we left, we'd be leaving them alone, wouldn't we? Of course, they could leave. Who knows? That could happen, I suppose. In a way, I guess it could. Well, it's kind of a mixed bag, isn't it? But, if I went back, I'd be the foreigner. I really would, It's close to 40 years now that we've left. And so that plays a role. I've become a European, I guess. At the same time, I'm very attached to that period of my life where I was, living in Canada. But like I like to say often, living in Canada on the American border. So it was like we were like very close, and that's changed. People tell me, of course, that's changed. What hasn't changed was I've been talking 10 minutes. So I guess I'll have to stop there. You tell me, what do you think? Like, a lot of you have moved around, some of you have not. So tell me about, your definition of where is home. Easy, signing off. Take care. I think I'm going to go make a tag now. Bye-bye.